There was a song out years ago. Would it be okay if I sang it for you?
Please do.
What? No. Aren't we a little critical? Aren't we a little critical? Well, let's see how much talent I have. They have to steal. The song goes like this. Maybe you've heard it before. Row, row, row your boat. Row your own boat. Grab charge of your own oars. How long have you been living life to chance? How long are you going to keep blaming your parents? How long are you going to keep telling people it's because my husband or wife isn't doing what I need? How long are you going to continue to say, if my kids would just straighten up, then I could be a happy person? How long are you going to leave the direction of your life to chance? The single biggest fear people have in life, I believe, is taking charge of the quality of their own life. It's your boat. It's always been your boat. It's always been your boat. Why not set your direction? Why not have the courage to say, this is where I'm going? Even if it's a disaster. At least you can be honest with that. You know, I'm trying to blow myself up. That's great. At least you're honest instead of, oh, it was my parents. It was my parents that did that. It wasn't your parents. You're rowing the boat. It's your boat. It's always been your boat. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Look around you. There's nobody else in your boat. They're rowing theirs. At best, we're bumping up against each other in relationships. And what we keep doing is bailing into everybody else's boat instead of rowing our own. This song says, row, row, row your boat. Row your boat. Set your direction. Decide what's important to you. Claim your own responsibility. See, that's what rowing your boat's about. Take personal responsibility for your actions and your behavior and your thinking and all your results. The rest of the world isn't doing anything to you. They're just out rowing their own boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Not harshly against the stream. How long have you been fighting life? Why do you think the world's against you? See, I grew up in Price Hill, and my mom said, you know, rich people aren't happy and this and that and don't expect this thing. And so I walked out of that environment thinking my job was to fight the world. So imagine every day my job was to go to the Ohio River and get in the Ohio River, and I got to set a direction. And every time I get in the Ohio River, guess what direction I go? Just take a guess. Pittsburgh. I got to go to Pittsburgh because the river's coming this way, and I got to fight it. I would never think to go to Louisville because that would mean I'm going with the flow of life. My job is to fight life. My job is to go against the stream. My wife Nancy had a great line once. I was volunteering in a seminar, and I used to whine a lot, still do. But I came home from the seminar, and I wanted some opportunities, and I didn't get the opportunities that I thought I deserved. And I came home to the house, and I was mumbling and crying and all that stuff. And then she said, what is going on? I said, you know, I volunteer, and I really put in a lot of work, and it just seems like nobody appreciates what I'm doing, and I really don't get that many opportunities. And she said something that was beautiful. She said, you know what, can I tell you something? I said, sure. She always tells me things I really don't want to hear. And she said, consistently in your life, people walk up to you and hand you things on a silver platter. They hand you things on a silver platter. And every time they do, what I watch you do is look underneath to see what the trick is. And that really is what I do often. When somebody's trying to help me, I'm always looking for what's the hook. Because that thing inside wants to tell me that the world's against me. That my job is to fight. And in that, I lost all my zest. One day, I figured it out. The truth is, people want me to be successful. They have a plan for my life, and I don't even know what it is. They really do. They see me as doing great things. They have this whole plan because they want me to be wildly successful. And the truth is that was always happening. But when I thought the world was against me, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see any of the help. Now, it's overwhelming because so many people care about me and what I'm doing and my mission in life and life success and all these things that they want me to succeed. It feels like a team of horses sometimes dragging me off. And so the whole idea is, where have you been living? Have you been fighting the stream or have you been flowing with it? Have you been fighting your relationships Or have you been going with it? Have you been solution-oriented, or are you just living in the problem house? If we're living in the problem house, it's real tough to get into the flow of life. Gently down the stream. Gently. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Not seriously, seriously, seriously. This is a really serious group here. And we get serious. And then when we get serious, we do this really neat thing. We get in a serious relationship. Anybody ever been in a serious relationship? Put your hands up. Serious relationship? Do they suck or what? Yeah. And then, if we're really good at it, we get in a serious relationship, and then we get married. And then we have little kids. And when they're about 5 years old, we start these statements like, you need to grow up. You need to be more responsible. You need to be more serious. And so we take these little people who are really creative, and we start making them in our image, which is serious people. And we get life so serious. And it's like taking an orange or something and just squeezing all the juice out of it, and then standing there and saying it's still an orange, when it's just the pulp. And that's what we do. We just squeeze all the joy out of life, and we take our feelings and we flatten them out like they're metal, as if our feelings are supposed to be this flat range of who we are instead of the ups and downs. And so all the juice of life goes away. All the juice, all the joy. And we get serious, and we forget what life's about. You know what the number one step in personal growth is? Get a sense of humor about yourself. You do stupid stuff just like I do. Learn to laugh at it. If you don't, all information that comes your way will sound critical. When we get serious, we get critical. We believe the world's against us. So any input becomes critical. And so we push it away. If we learn to laugh at ourselves, if we learn to find a joy in what we're doing, we get freedom. We get to move forward. The whole idea, merrily. Have some fun. You know, we're not going to get out of it alive anyway, so why not have fun with it? I don't care what I'm doing, I'm going to have fun. Just a decision I make. I don't care where I'm at, what I'm doing. Anybody around me knows we're going to have fun. In the back, the group leaders always say, well, Mike, no one's laughing at your jokes. I said, I don't care. You need to get new jokes. I said, no, I need to get a new audience. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Life is but a dream. Life is whatever we make up. Your reality are things you've decided. There are no rules in life. Life is not fair. You hear that all the time. You're exactly right. Successful people take advantage of that. There is no reality. We buy into rules. We buy into ideas. Like right now, if at this door right here, if a naked man came out of that door and ran through the room here, we could do a survey up and down the rows, and we would probably get 30 different versions of what people, their opinion on what that was. Somebody say, well, that was obnoxious. Someone would say, that's the funniest thing I ever saw. This, this, this. And we all saw the same thing, but we all interpreted it differently. So our reality is something we decide. See, because how could we all sit here and hear the same information and walk away with something different? Because we all determine our own reality. So, if your dreams are a nightmare, that's a choice. If your dreams are less than, then that's a choice. If your dreams are serious, that's a choice. You chose them, you hold them, and you believe them. And I said the first day, the first thing we're going to have to do is, if you want something different, is to challenge your belief system. I spent a year in Vietnam. And one of the things I noticed as soon as I got to Vietnam was that everybody had a water buffalo, like about a 5,000-pound water buffalo, and they chew this stuff, and they are ugly animals. And oftentimes in the evening, they would have their water buffalo in their hut. They would take them in their house. And you know what? I thought maybe it was a fad that was catching on, and I came back to the United States, and it never caught on here. That's kind of a weird deal. It's like, well, why doesn't anybody keep a water buffalo in their living room? It was real over there. That was reality. Why aren't we doing it here? Because it has no value. Your reality has value. what you believe has value. Otherwise, you wouldn't hold on to it. You wouldn't put a water buffalo in your living room unless it had value, unless you were moving rice or whatever that is. Your dreams right now, whether you think they are what you want or not, are designed because you find value in them. And so we get to decide how we change our reality. We get to decide how we change our dreams. We can be a spectator in life and believe that everybody else gets their dreams, or we can be a participant in life. We can row our own boat. We can set our own dreams. We can change our own mind. We can change our own reality. We can look at life differently. Anybody see Groundhog Day? Great movie if you really paid attention. Every day he got up and life sucked. Every day was the same. And one day he decided he was done, that he was going to make something of it. And he started to build his day, and while the day was exactly the same, he decided to change his attitude, change his reality, and start helping people, and his whole reality changed. Do you remember that? That is exactly how life works. I can guarantee you can change your attitude, go back next week and do your life exactly the way you did this past week, and it can be 100% better just by changing your attitude. Now, you may want to change some of the circumstances, but what I'm saying is we get to decide that, just like in Groundhog Day. We get to decide how we view our life, what our reality is, and it's all based on our perception. So the question is how have you been rowing your boat? What do you want to do different? When are you going to get started on it? Do you really think you have the convenience of thinking you're going to be here tomorrow? Or a year, or 5 years, or 10 years? Do you really believe that? I know we somehow think I'm going to be around for a lot longer. But the reality is we don't know that. And are there things we need to get to? And this is not about fear-based panic stuff. This is just about getting clear about who we are, what we want, and where we're going.